services. So today we will start with web services. First we'll create a project, and after that we'll discuss few things about it. So I'm creating the project name is also like this because I want to integrate multiple things into this case. So that's the reason I created a name like this. So first of all, we try to understand what is web service. So web service is nothing but here. It's a where you want to add the dynamic data. So the dynamic data we have to access here within this application. So let us say web service. Like we are using simple examples are like we are using Gmail, Facebook, LinkedIn, like many platforms we are using. So in every platform, before once for the means for the when you as a new user, we are registering into that platform with even few details. So some of the details we are giving like name, email ID, mobile number, gender, etc. Some details. So whatever the details here we are giving, that data has to source somewhere in some database. So that database could be anywhere. Like means LinkedIn has USA, Facebook have India. Like example, just I'm saying example like wherever it is should be, but the data has to store somewhere in a specific location. So because of that is the reason we are next time when we are trying to log in with the same email ID, we are able to log in. Also, we are getting every day the dynamic data. Like if I open Amazon, so when I open Amazon, maybe today it's offers for the shoes, tomorrow offers for the laptop, day after tomorrow offers for the mobile. Like this, every day it is data is updating. So those are the updates are happening from the servers. Means that is from the database. So for this to understand this thing, I'll explain you with simple regular life example. So let us, I'm in Hyderabad. Okay, here I have a bangle store. I have a bangle store, but as of now, I'm buying here locally the bangles and I'm selling this with 10% of profit. Okay. So you told that, so if you buy the bangles in somewhere else, like let us say Bangalore. So if you buy the bangles in Bangalore, so you said like you will get the minimum 40 to 50% of the 40 to 50% of profit. Instead of 10, it will be very means it will be attractive, right? So okay, I decided to buy in Bangalore. So how can I buy? I traveled from Hyderabad to Bangalore, like by bus or by train, by flight, by car, like whatever it is. So I buy it from here to there. So that once I buy it there, okay, sorry, once I reach there, I went to that particular address you given. I'm asking them, I need this type of bangles, 100 pairs, this type of bangles, 200 pairs, like that I'm asking. But he is not understanding because I'm asking in Telugu. As a Hyderabadi person, I know only Telugu. As a Bangalore person, he is expecting that in Kannada. So here there is a gap. So to fulfill that gap, here while I'm traveling, I took that one person called translator. So I went along with the translator. So what this translator is doing here is, whatever I'm explaining in Telugu, he is converting that into Kannada and he is explaining to him, shop owner. Then what he is explaining, like he is doing the vice versa, right? Like that. Then total I added many pairs. So like he said, if written all the things and he hand over that script to shopkeeper, like who is working on the shopkeeper. So the keeper will packing the things. But I have ordered a huge quantity because I want to sell those items in my shop here. So I ordered huge quantity. So normally the huge quantity could not be available on a shop, right? So then this shopkeeper went to Godan, right? He went to Godan and he collected the items and he packed the items. Then he handed over to us. We paid the amount. So our transaction has done. We came back to Hyderabad. Done. Everything is done. Like this same thing, we will same scenario. We will discuss now in our technical terminology. Right. So here I'm working on a mobile platform. Right. I'm working on a mobile platform with Kotlin language, right? With Kotlin or let us say Java. Any one of this thing I'm working here. Then I want to register in a uh, specific application. Like whatever we are designing that I want to do as a dynamic. So here I'm sending the data in the form of API. So this we can say API or web service. Anything is almost it is the same. So I'm sending the data in this. But same scenario. Let us say this backend people has written the code in Python or .NET or PHP. So just I'm comparing whatever the language we are using that could not be same as like that. So I'm treating like this. Let us, in case of this, what happens now? So they are not understanding that. So that is the activity now. Same issue is happened in our case also. Like here also. So to overcome that issue means initially we are instead of this API directly I'm sending in a Kotlin. So these people cannot understand the Kotlin. So they are not responding to your API. So then immediately I'm sending the data in the form of API or web service. So this API or web service in our this thing, it is the universal for everyone. Any platform, any language, people can understand this language. So what I'll do is, whatever the data I want to send here, I want to send name, mobile number, email ID, password, gender. Like I want to 10 like that. I want to send 10 fields from my application. So I collect all the 10 fields in the form of Kotlin here, and that I'll convert into the API format. So then that API will goes to this particular platform, right? Then the Python developer or .NET developer or PHP developer, they can read the API data and they convert that API data into their understandable language. Let us say PHP. They converted that into PHP, and then so they'll search the data in a database. Means whatever the email ID, whatever the mobile number I'm sending from here, so they will search the data in a database. Right. So that data, whatever the data you're sending, the data is not matched. That particular email ID is not exist. Then they will insert the data and they will give some result back. Inserted, record inserted successfully. So whatever the response they got from the database, that is in the form of PHP, then that people will convert that PHP to API format and they will give to us. So then now we will read the API data that we will convert into our platform like Portlet. Then we will show that message to the user. So this is the mechanism is happening in the background of the web services, right? Up to this, it is clear. Then I have a question. Who will provide the APIs? Who will provide the APIs? See, I'm working on a mobile platform. Let us say you are working on Android. I'm working on iOS. So we will provide the APIs. So for every platform, there is a backend team is available. So the backend team, like who are writing the API layer, so that will be that backend developer, like who are writing a code in a Python, .NET, PHP, maybe Java also, like whatever the language they are using backend. So those people will give the API. But how they will give? How they will give? So there are the different ways. So someone will give the Postman collection. Some application they'll give the Swagger. So some people will give simple document. So we used to use one of the tool to check the APIs before going to the actual development. We used to test the API. So API is working or not. So as of now, if any issue is occurred in our program, that is completely with us. But now there is a dependency. In case my code, everything is fine, but the issue is from the backend side. Means from the API side, I'm not getting the proper response, or yesterday, whatever the response I mapped with that my code, maybe the response has changed as the request parameter also changed. If anything is changed, here your code also won't work. So that is the reason. Now, if any issue will come, we used to check two scenarios. One is our code. Then after that, whatever the APIs they provided in that code also, we used to check that. So, but here we are thinking API. What is API? So that API is nothing but here application user interface. So this is the interface between the different applications, right? It will combine the different applications. So like we can call any APIs like payment gateway, our APIs, or means external APIs, our APIs, Google Maps API, something, whatever the APIs, like many things we can implement here in this, right? So this APIs. So there are different types of APIs types. One is the RESTful. Next is the DOM. Next is the SAX. Next is the RESTful DOM SAX. Next is the XML. Like these all are the major categories. But nowadays, everyone are using the RESTful. These all are the older architectures, so we are not using. This RESTful is the very simple and the easiest way we can implement. So that is the reason we are using this. And in this, each type has also has some subcategory. This subcategory is for applicable for all. So what are the subcategories? Like here, whatever the request we are sending. So those requests in the form of post, get, put, delete, like this, many formats are there, but majorly we will use these two. And some cases we will use this. Majority of the cases we will use this only, and some of the special cases we will use the delete. Normally we won't use any time. So this is like this, we have to check this. But how can I identify this? So to identify this is very simple. Like whatever the team, like the backend team as given. So that time itself, they will give, okay, this is the API format. So this is the API format, like this is the post, this is a get. So you have to pass sometimes, like you have to pass some headers. Like that, they will explain that whatever the parameters you have to pass, that they have to explain. So that we can pass regularly like this, right? So now we will see one simple sample example API, which I have that is in a PHP in my website. So that we will see. So that to check APIs, here I'm using the tool called Postman. So some people like this Swagger. Swagger means that this will be tightly coupled to the every project. So this is not a online tool. It is tightly coupled for the every project. Project wise, the people will map this Swagger, and this Postman is the independent. Is the platform independent. Like here, any APIs you can add and you can save. If you have a paid account, so the entire team can access in a single API here itself. The entire team can access here this, right? So this is the, I added a few APIs for the class purpose here. So even if you want this, you can install in our system also. Like instead of using install, I have used in my direct here. Post get. So this is the today API. Like remaining APIs we'll see later. But here, this API today we are going to test this. So this is the URL. This is the URL, and this is the post type. So these all are the details we have to pass. So name, mobile, like this. But what is the format of this? So before entering actual this thing, we have to understand one. Like here, we said we are get to post this, right? But here API means here we have to send the data in another format, that is in the form of JSON. So whatever this data is here, this is in the form of JSON. So JSON means it's a JavaScript object notation. So we are sending the data in the form of this JavaScript object notation. So why JSON? Why not other? So here JSON is the simple, and it's a lightweight. Here we can use self-described tags. So we can describe our own tag. Like self-described tags means we are writing the API, so they can define the self-described tags. Like and it's a language independent. Means any language developer can able to read this data. So that is the reason everyone are following this. Even standardized payment gateways, Google Maps, everyone are following this JSON format only. Right. So here now, how we used to send this data. Here there are simple two scenarios. So the two scenarios here we will have two scenarios here we will have. So one is the object, other is the array. So here JSON data we are sending in the form of only two. So one is the object, other is the array. So how we will define the object and array, we will see. Like let us say, first of all, I want to describe an array. So this phrase indicates object. By seeing that, we can define that. See here, by seeing this, I can say this is the object, right? So here, how we will write? Key colon value, like this we will write. Key colon value, like this we will write, comma. So if I want two values, so you can write with separation of the comma, you will write this is the single key comma value. Like here I have multiple. So let us say within this I have multiple keys. So whenever I have multiple keys, so like this, we can write with separation of the comma, but keys should be unique. Key 1, key 2, like this you can put. This is the unique. So in this format you can put like this. This is our object. Let us say I have an array. So this base indicates array. So within this array, so we have multiple things, right? So like this, we can add the value. This indicates array. So we will, by next to couple of examples, we will try to get, we will see this other thing so that we can understand easily, right? This is one thing. Like in this case now, so while they are giving an API, right, they used to confirm few things here. So whatever the API we are giving, that has in the form of form data or in the form of raw data. So mostly either we will use form data or raw data. So there is a small differences between the form data. In case if it is form data, we used to handle different. If in case if it is here, we have other this is the form data. We will see that first. Today we will see with the raw data, then we will see with the form data. So now this is the request. So this data here, I'm sending this request to. So see, it's saying that email already exists. Let us say I added something here. Then it says you are registered successfully, status success. Like this we got. Means now API is working. Now you can go and you can start your program. Right. So to implement this now, what is the data here we are getting? So that is perfectly, we are understanding that. So here we need 3 input fields, right? One is the username, password, email. This input field along with the button, we have to create this UI, right? But here, whatever the UI today I want to create here, I want to create the UI with material layout. So I want to use material concept into this. So how can we use material, that we will see here. For that here, first whatever I'm doing, this I'm taking as linear layout. Right, I'm taking the orientation as vertical. So here I want to use material, right? So first of all, I want to use here this card view. We already used this in just hello. So here now I want to use the card view. So this is the card view. Like I want to use a card view. Right, I'm adding the card view. Okay. So I'm selecting the card view. Right. So card view, match parent, wrap content, and margin 10 dp. So then I'll close this, partial close, right? So okay, I forget this. I want to arrange the center of the page. So I'll take a relative layout. So this is not required, right? I take the relative layout. Here for this card view, I'm giving something central, horizontal, true, central, vertical, true. Both I am giving that. So both I have given as a true. Right. Now here I want to take one linear layout, match parent, wrap content, and for this I'm giving the orientation. So vertical, and I'll give some margin for this by dp. Then I have partially closed like this, right? Now this is the button. Like after this, I have to close here linear layout. Then I have to close. Means whatever the components design, I'll do within this inner layout. So here I'm changing this as here register here, right? Register here. So for this, I want to align the gravity. So layout gravity center. So it is aligned as a center. Done. Now here after this button, right here after this text view, here I have to take the 3 text views and button that from the materials, right? So to use material component, don't remember the code. Always you can copy and paste from here. But to learn how to use that, you need to learn here. So here you use this material m2.material. Just even in a Google you can search material for material design for Android will be good. So here this is the Android. See here Android web, Android, iOS, Flutter. There are different cases as that Android. So you can go to components. So within these components here we have all the things. Let's see. These are all the things, but one by one we will see. Already we seen that card view, right? Like this, we will see one by one. But first I want to use one button. So there are different buttons. So here this is in a design. Here you can able to see what type of buttons are available here. Right, these are the different types of buttons. If you want to implement this, you can go to an implementation. So in implementation, here we will get the code for the button, right? So this is the text button. So this is the extra style. Whatever the regular code, whatever we are using, that is same. But here we got one extra. This is the text button has created here. So this I'll change as a match parent, and here this button we are using for a register, right? So I'm changing this as a register, right? So here I'm giving some margin, so that is 5 dp, right? So button has created here. See in a UI. So this is the button has created like this. So once you can run here, now it is looking like text, but once it is run in mobile, we can able to fill the like button. This format we will get like this. Small border will be there, that we will fill. Like I don't want this, so go down. See button plus one image like this. This is the, if you want button plus image, so this is the material. Like you can add the toggle icon on the button. You can add that icon or scroll down. So here outline button, whatever this button we use, that is the outline button. Next, you want to use this outline plus image, you can use this, and the full contained button. So this is like simple, whatever we are using regular button, this is like that. This plus icon, you use this plus icon like this. Right here, we can copy this code and we can paste. So like this, we are using the button, right? Next, I want text fields, right? So text fields means that is edit text. Edit text we will say has the text fields. So here is the text fields. So here also same text fields. See here, this is the different. This is the one style, whatever. This is one style, and this is the second style. So one thing we will use outlined. Most of the people are using outline, so we'll use that. Outline means like here. When I try to paste here, that is outline. See, it will come like this. Label means hint. Whatever the hint we given, that hint should be here. Even after entering the data, also we can find out this hint. That's the reason I'm preparing this, right? So to implement this, I'm going to implementation. here. So just scroll down. So here these all are the fully first time, but we are looking for the outline button, right? So outline is in the bottom of the page because I already know that. Because of that, I'm moving here. So if you want here, you can click this outline button. So this is the code here, outline. So this you can use for the edit text. Instead of small edit text here, it will be like here. This we need total 3, right? So one is for the name, username, email, and next is the password. Right. I pasted total here 3 times. So here I'm changing the labels. So this I want to use for the password. Right. I want to use this for the password. Then for this ID I'm giving as a password. ID I'm giving as a password. Right. Next, before that, here this I'm using this for the email like this. I'm giving as the email, right? And the first one, this I'm giving as a username. Right here, username, right? So see here now, UI is ready like this. So now once we will run this, it will be looking like it with some of the 3D effects. The UI is looking proper way. It is some standardized because nowadays everyone are using the material component only. So like usage of this, whatever we seen that, like see, we only seen 2 things. One card view already we used previously, but apart from this, here whatever other components that we will discuss a few things afterwards. Other than that, like button. So cards, like some of the things like checkbox. You want to use checkbox. So checkboxes. So the checkboxes. See, this is the checkbox. So whatever we are using the checkbox. So to implement that checkbox here. So this is the code for the checkbox. That almost is a regular checkbox. So in this, some customization is required. So material, theme colors false like this, some colors properties. Here we can get this properties. So you can access which type of like here disable, enable. So that kind of properties here we can access with. So this is like small kind of thing. You can check here these small components. Other components like regular, whatever the other components usage, that bottom navigation and floating action button, that we will see in our coming sessions. Means in this, we started a little bit portion of the material concepts, right? Okay, this is fine. My UI is ready. Now, this I want our regular process with the data binding I want to use, right? So I'll use here data binding. Data binding. So for the data binding, I'm using layout. Right. So this layout I'll close afterwards. On a regular base, I'll modify here the data binding I added here. That is fine. After that, I want to send a request this data to server. So if I want to send this data to server, so previously there is a total 3 types of 3 ways as this to send the data to server. One is the using async task and retrofit. Last one is the volley. So there are 3 is there, but Kotlin can support only 2, that is retrofit and volley. So those 2 we will discuss.
What is the other one? One is retrofit.
Retrofit, volley, and async task.
Okay.
Async task is nothing but it's a very like core language, like core Java, how we will use core Java, right? That the type of concept is. Means async task, like here, if I want to write async task, minimum like I used to write around 200 to 300 lines of code to write this scenario. Okay, if I use
What about what is the difference between RX Java? RX Java and comes under Valley, right?
yeah, that wall, it will come under wall.
Okay.
So next thing, this is the next one, retrofit. If I write the retrofit, means retrofit and volley, those are the third-party dependencies, third-party libraries. So if we are using like third-party mean like library means like here how we can say that is a simply we can say as a framework. In Java, we have framework of Spring Boot. Like we have framework like here also. These are the frameworks like whatever if I write async task that is in the core concept. Next level, this is the retrofit and volley. But in a retrofit, mostly 60 to 70% of the industry people are like majority of the people are using retrofit, and few people are using the volley. So because volley library has more weight compared to the retrofit, but coding has very less in a volley compared to retrofit. But still that they are using like it means if you want to get the data kind of thing that we have to use some of the concept again it regular process of like as basic core concepts we need to use the core concept to get the data. But here there is some generators also available, so using that generators here we can get those data directly. Here we generate that, so that's the reason we are using most of the cases on retrofit. So first we will start the program with retrofit. After your practice has done on retrofit, we will discuss on the same program on volley, so that you will get a clarity on the both scenarios. Right. So here to use this retrofit, so the retrofit is the dependency on some of the other third party. So that is here retrofit. So this is the one. Retrofit is from the some third party, that is Square has implemented this. So the Square means who are providing this belongs to like Android Studio company. So those people only has provided this. So that's the reason it is a like lightweight. So this is like here we can handle the different scenarios. So this document right now I won't explain, because if I explain now it will be confusing for you. Once you will done the program, then we'll come back to this documentation and we'll discuss on this documentation. Right, first if you want to implement this, so we need some dependencies. So those dependencies, how to add and how we need to do that, so that we will continue in our next session. Because this is time up. This is okay, so that we will continue tomorrow.